And just like that, Luke, we are going. How's life?
Life is great. No complaints from me. Got back home about mid-May after we lost in the playoffs. Did my quarantine, and then just been kind of working out, golfing, skating, just living life. I got no complaints.
Congratulations on the contract with Seattle. You talk about an accomplishment. I remember we first had our conversation. I don't even maybe 2 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and you were with Carolina, and things didn't work out. And then you saw your career just go a little bit better year by year. And then the next thing you know, you get rewarded with a contract by Seattle. So I couldn't be more proud of you. I'm sure your family's proud of you, and I hope that you're proud of yourself because that's an incredible accomplishment.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, it's to be honest, it's been pretty crazy the last few months. Obviously it was disappointing not signing with Carolina. I thought I had a pretty good 19 year, and obviously COVID ended the year early, and things were there was a lot of uncertainty, and it didn't work out. But I think I did a really good job at kind of just trying to forget about it and know that they didn't sign me for a reason. Like I needed to get bigger, I needed to get stronger. So that's kind of what I've been working on the last, obviously for my whole life, but especially the last couple of years, I've really ramped it up. And I had a pretty good year this year for my final year in Blainville, and I was lucky enough to get rewarded for it, and I'm really happy.
Talk about the motivation factor of not getting signed. That must have, let's not lie to each other here. It must have pissed you off a little bit. Did what was that motivation factor like going into the next year? I guess.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, you hit it bang on there. So basically, I got home once COVID started. I got home in March or early April, late March,
Yeah.
and I had by June 1st to sign. So for those 2 months, I didn't really know. I had no idea. I had a good season, and I was just kind of waiting to see what they were gonna do, what they were gonna say, and found out just kind of right before June 1st, that it wasn't gonna happen. So it was definitely it was definitely disappointing, like I said. But like I said, I think I did a really good job at just kind of putting my nose down, and I knew that I needed to work even harder. I needed to you know get bigger, get stronger, have a better shot, just be a more dominant player. And I'm really proud of myself for obviously you don't want to feel sorry for yourself in those situations. Things happen for a reason, and I think like I said, I'm really proud of myself for just kind of putting my nose down and working, and I got rewarded. But now this is just the start again. This isn't like, I sit back, I did this, good on me. Like now I gotta really start pushing even more so I can prove people right and also prove people wrong.
It's an interesting, not it is an interesting topic, but like people within the hockey community, a lot of those people are talking about the situation that you are in, your age group, excuse me, that junior guy who's maybe 18, 19, 20 and is looking to make that pro jump but can't really prove themselves due to COVID. And obviously it was a weird year and unfortunate for a lot of people not being able to prove themselves, but you were able to take those few games that you did play and you were able to, like I said, get an NHL contract out of it. Was there any mental not struggles with it, but just the going, okay, how do I prove myself? And how many games did you play this year? 34.
I played 32 regular season, and we played 9 playoff games.
So like those games, those are crucial games. That's like almost NCAA games. Like
Yeah.
that, you're not playing that many. So
Yeah.
I guess with those, who did I ask this question to? I was talking to Brendan Saunier about this
Yeah.
because he was in the A this year and he had few games played as well in the A. And I asked him, like, how do you make sure that every game counts so you get noticed? And he was a guy who wasn't even getting a lot of ice time. And he was just like, he brings the moment to himself. It doesn't matter if it's a Tuesday afternoon game with 5 people in the stands. He's like, you have to bring the game to you in order to make it important, in order to get noticed.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is, yeah, how do you make yourself noticed and make yourself I guess stand out from the rest in those short amount of games played.
Yeah, well, for me, like, I still feel this way. I'm very, very fortunate that we even got to play this year because, the OHL never played. The WHL played very few games. And, we were able to get, a half season and a playoff in, and, very, very fortunate that happened. And, there were times during this year where I think I did 7 quarantines this year, 2 weeks. So I had COVID in October, and you're in a hotel every night. Like,
Oh, you had it?
yeah, Yeah, I had COVID in October. Our whole team got it in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there were times where like it was hard. Like it was like a lot of nights in hotels. A lot like I couldn't see my girlfriend who went to school in Ottawa. She's from here, but she went to school in Ottawa. I couldn't see her because the only way we were allowed to play is if we went school, rink, billet. School, rink. Like we couldn't do anything else.
Like no movie.
No movie, like no mall, no. I mean, there was not much open in Quebec anyway, but we had to very limit ourselves if we wanted to be able to play. So, like I said, there were times where, it was tough. It was like tough mentally to just sit in your room for 2 weeks. Like I said, I did 7 times. So, but then you got to look at the bigger picture. Like, wow, like I'm very, very lucky that I'm getting to play. I got to play 41 games, and there's guys at home who would love to be in the situation that I'm in. So I just kind of looked at it that way, and I tried to just take advantage of every opportunity I had to play a game because, like I just said, I was very, very fortunate. So
What was the moment you found out you had COVID? What ran through your head? Was this early in the stages when no one
Yeah.
really knew what it was?
Yeah. So I was kind of the first one. So like I said, it was early October. It was like October 4th, I think. So we had just started the season. We played our first 2 games of the regular season.
Yeah.
We played Sherbrooke, and I think we won both. Like life was good. Like, we were winning. Like we were back playing. Everything was good. And then I kind of a guy in our team group chat, kind of texted, or no. So we played Friday, Saturday. So Saturday morning, we played Saturday night. Saturday morning, a guy on our team felt sick. And he didn't come to the rink because when you feel
Smart.
sick, you don't
Yeah.
come to the rink.
Yeah.
So then we were kind of like, okay, like the rules of the queue, we didn't have to cancel the game because no one tested positive. We were like, okay, he feels sick, he's at home, he's not going to be in contact with anyone, but we were in contact with him on Friday, obviously. So then he's like, okay, I feel sick, like I'm going to get a test. You guys play the game, whatever. We won the game. I felt great. Everyone on the team felt great. Sunday morning comes after the game. We have a day off. We're just doing whatever. Get a text from that guy saying, hey, like I tested positive, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know how this happened. So then we all had to go get tested, and like the rink in Blainville. So at that time in October, the rink in Blainville is a very, very busy rink.
I've been there.
Yeah. There's a public gym. There's hockey schools that are constantly going. There's people in and out. Like if one team was going to get COVID in the queue, it was either probably us or Quebec.
It's like a community center.
Yeah. It's very, very busy.
Yeah.
And so I got tested Sunday night. I got a call Monday night saying I had it. I felt fine. So I think we had like 18 guys get it on our team that was a bit of a shock. And like, I got a lot of text from, people back home asking if I was all right and all that stuff because it was kind of new. Like I said, I was kind of the first one to get it that of the people in my, group, like my friend group, my family, no one else had it. So, it was a bit tough, like mentally, like, it kind of sucked, but I didn't really feel sick. I had the cold sweats one night.
Yeah.
I think that was just my body sweating it out. Other than that, I felt pretty normal. So, but yeah, it was definitely tough, like I said, mentally, but again, very fortunate that I was even able to play. So
Yeah, I remember early in the stages, like Tom Hanks got it, and I was like, oh well, Tom Hanks is gonna die, like it's over. Like there's points like where it was scary at the beginning where no one really knew what it was.
Yeah,
and like adding life in front of that to like try to make the NHL, just even play hockey, just live.
Yeah,
and thinking, oh man, there's a chance I don't make it through this. Oh, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah,
that.
and also my billet family, who are the best people. They're a retired couple, so they're 60, 65. And luckily they didn't get it, but like if they get COVID, like there's a chance that they could die. Like it attacks your immune system, and for older people it affects them a little bit more. So it was scary, but luckily they didn't get it. But like that's where you kind of think like, okay, we're playing hockey, but like there's no point on putting people's lives at risk. In my head I kind of thought about it that way, like geez, well, like I don't want to put them in danger because I'm playing hockey. Like there's bigger things going on in the world right now. But luckily, after that, you're kind of immune for a while. So after that, I kind of didn't really, I wasn't too worried after that. Like I still followed all the protocols, obviously, but like I felt safer because I already had it, and like your body builds up antibodies and stuff like that. So,
I want to talk to you about the road trip me and Doodle took up to Moncton to mic you up. I think it was 2 years ago now. And great trip. Like we got stuck in a snowstorm. We were pumped, and we got to stay the next day. And we messaged Jeremy McKenna, and he got us tickets, and we stayed the night. It was one of the better trips of High Button sports history. It was a great time. And by the way, Blainville, the staff, like the people who we were emailing, I couldn't give you names, but they were so like welcoming and like, yeah, absolutely, anything you need. Here's the coach. Here's the equipment manager. Here's if you need to get a hold of anyone here, their numbers. Like they're just great staff. First of all,
for sure.
And second of all, I was amazed. I know the stereotypes out the window about English guys going up to French towns and all that stuff. You hear horror stories every now and then. But when we had you on the mic and we were listening to the conversations that you were having with your teammates, with your coaches, with the goalie, just everyone. There's French guys on the team, and I was amazed how well receptive you were to every single guy on the team. I know in teams there's cliques, there's friendships maybe that are stronger than others, but I was amazed by listening to you on the microphone how well you just kind of got along with everyone. And at the end of the practice, the coach came up to you. What's the coach's name?
Bruce
came up to you and he goes, "Hey Luke, what do you want to do after practice?" And you're like, let's go to a movie or something. I was just amazed how you were able to put yourself into that organization and how everyone just kind of respected you on the ice. And you were there at 16, correct?
Yeah. I played midget 16, but I was there. I played like 10 games, and then I was there the whole playoff. So pretty much I was there all throughout the year.
Anyways, I thought that was really cool. So I guess I want to talk about your mindset going into that year, I guess 16, 17, and how you were able to you were the captain of that organization this year. Talk about your mindset going up to Quebec and doing that.
Yeah, so basically, if I were to give advice to a young kid who just got drafted to a French team in the Q, like I wouldn't say it's obviously difficult leaving and going 12 hours away. Like that's not easy for anyone, but like you just said, like all the people in that organization are first class, like so awesome, so nice, so welcoming, and I think that's kind of why I sort of had that success, because when I went in there, it was the same thing. Like you're very welcoming, like it's a great group of guys. Like the culture there is professional. Like you got to be a pro, you got to work, you got to compete. And that's kind of how I approached it when I was 18, 19, 20, being a leader on the team. I wanted to welcome those. I wanted to make those young guys feel comfortable, because that's what the older guys did for me. And that's kind of why I had success. And, if you look at the Blainville organization, they're a team who, since they got in the league, they've been very, very good. They, I think they have maybe besides Vermouski, I think they have the best record in the last like 10 years or whatever. So, and that's not just a coincidence. It's because of the culture, because of the people there, because of the organization, because of, Joël Bouchard, because of Bruce. They're two very similar coaches. And for me, one thing being the captain on that team, one thing that I learned being a captain is you can't approach everyone the same. Everyone's different, right? So you have conversations with guys. You have different conversations with different guys. Some guys need to be pushed. Some guys need to be, not babied a little bit, but nurtured a little bit. You want to obviously focus on yourself and your own game, but you also want to try to get the best out of your teammates so your team can have success. So I think that's one thing that I learned being a captain. And, like you saw in that video, it's kind of, knowing how guys react, knowing what guys like I said, like approaching guys differently. I think that was a big key for me, and I think that's why, I kind of had success. We had success as a team, and I think, I had success individually. So,
yeah, really, that's a great answer. It's phenomenal. Just the moment we stepped into the rink. Oh, you're Justin and you're Matt. You guys are here with High Button. You're here to see Luke. Okay, great. Let me grab him. You came out, big smile on your face. I'll never forget it. And that was one of the moments where we were, I guess, a little maybe overachieving. We didn't think we'd be able to do it, but I think, you guys might have been the first French team to let us chuck a mic on you.
Yeah.
I think you were.
Yeah.
And I remember after they shared it on their
Yeah.
Facebook page, on their Twitter,
Yeah.
and they were just so kind, and
Yeah.
I'll never forget that moment, and that really helped us open the door for
sure.
for other Q teams
that
around,
series, yeah.
just for everything.
Yeah.
It was really helpful in the league in general. So
Absolutely.
I want to thank you and Blainville for that. That was awesome for us.
First class organization, for
Unbelievable. So yeah, I want to talk about how the Seattle signing happened. I know Steinberg's the scout in the Atlantic Canada, so I'm assuming there was some connection there. But I guess just talk about the whole process of signing, how it went down, who you talked to, and that.
Yeah. So basically, Trev played a big part in it. Trev, he's been a big fan of mine, and I'm a big fan of Trev, and he kind of got that job with Seattle as the Atlantic Canadian scout, and also Mike Dawson, who drafted me in Carolina. He was the scout who drafted me in Carolina, and Ron Francis, the GM, was the GM in Carolina when I was drafted by Carolina. So I think Ron left in April, and I got drafted in June. So he definitely, there's had to be some sort of correlation there. And then there was also a couple other scouts who were in Carolina who are now in Seattle who liked me, who that was part of the reason I was drafted. So, kind of Mike, after I didn't sign, he kind of said, hey, it's all right. I know you're going to get your shot. Just keep working. And then sort of, all throughout the year, I had, I was playing well. There wasn't many other teams or wasn't many other leagues playing. So the Q was kind of getting more attention than maybe it usually does. So, and like I said, I was playing well. So there was a couple teams who were reaching out to my agent, just kind of saying, hey, what's his deal? Is he putting on weight? How's he, things like that. So, and then, Seattle was always sort of, it's not a front runner, but there was always talks with them and my agent all throughout the year. And then I'd say, I play the year, we're in the playoffs. We finished the first round. We beat Gatineau. We go back to Blainville. We stay in a hotel. Shocker. So we're in a hotel in Blainville, not allowed to go back to our billets because of COVID. I get a call from Ron Francis, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Okay, let's do this here. So we talk for probably 20-25 minutes, kind of about the organization, just how excited everyone is. The city of Seattle, I think they sold 10,000 season tickets in 12 minutes or something. So he's very excited. He's asking me about, some of the games in the playoffs, my season, what happened in Carolina and stuff. And, we had a very, very good chat, I thought. And I kind of hung up and I was like, okay, I'm starting to get a good feeling. And then, so we were in Blainville. Then we went to Quebec City for the bubble where all the Q playoffs happened. Yeah. The second round on, sorry. And we're playing Victoriaville. So we're there. I forget the days now. It's
all good. Together.
We're there. We were there. We got there Thursday. We practiced Friday. Game 1 was Saturday at 1:00. So we practiced. We play the game Saturday at 1. We win in overtime. So you get back to it's 1 to 3:30. You get back to the hotel around 4:30. Eat. Then I got back to my bed and I'm just there's a long games, an overtime game. Those games take tolls on you.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was just laying in my bed. I dozing off, watching YouTube, watching hockey. I get a text from my agent. He says, call me ASAP. So I'm like, oh shit, here we go. So I call him. He just says, how would you like to be the first player signed with the Seattle Kraken? And I was just speechless. I was so happy. And he's like, you've worked so hard for this. I'm so proud of you. And then, to have the game, to win the game, obviously we didn't win the series, but to win that game in overtime, then have that happen was just unbelievable. He's like, look, we can't say anything. You can't say a thing to anyone because the first player in the organization, they want to release that on their own terms. You know what I mean? They want to.
Oh yeah, I
never
thought of that.
They don't want it to get out in the media. They don't want some reporter tweeting it before they do. So he's like, man, I hate to do this to you, but you got to keep it quiet. Then Ron called me. He's like, man, you got to keep it quiet. He's like, tell your parents. I told my parents. I told my girlfriend. I told my siblings. I told one guy on the team because he was my best friend on the team. I told him. The call with my parents, I FaceTimed them. Like, my mom was crying. My dad was super excited. My girlfriend was, super, super happy for me. It was a day I'll never forget. So it happened, that was Saturday, and they released it on Wednesday. So 4 days, we were playing games. Like, I couldn't say anything. Like,
oh, that's brutal. Well, it's awesome, but like,
it was awesome. But
That's
I just going to like,
it's bittersweet.
Bittersweet, yeah. But going to like meals with my team, like I got this big secret I can't tell them because you never know what could happen.
They're like, Luke, why are you smiling so
Yeah,
much?
yeah.
We just lost. What are you doing?
My coach Bruce, who
you couldn't tell him.
No, that was probably the toughest part, is I couldn't tell him, and I actually told Jack and Jake McKinnon, who are my two best friends here. I told them as well. I knew they were going to keep it quiet. So there was probably like 4 or 5 people that I told. But yeah, Bruce, I couldn't tell him, which was killing me because we've been through so much together. He was there when I was 18, 19, and 20. And we have such a good relationship. And, obviously, me being the captain, the coach and the captain, they kind of, they're very close. They have a good relationship. We talk about things. And, I think it came out, we had a day off Wednesday. So Wednesday morning, it was coming out at Wednesday at like 2. I think like Wednesday at like 12, I went into his room and I knocked on the door. I was like, Bruce, like, sit down for a second. I got to tell you something. And we had just lost game 3. So we were down 2-1. He's like, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, what's this about? And I told him, and he was so happy. It was one of the best. I think that was one of the best moments that I had with this whole Seattle thing, was just, seeing how, raw his happiness was. It was really cool to see. And definitely a day I'll never forget.
Dude, getting emotional. That's a crazy story. That's insane. And I guess we'll talk about your phone after.
Yeah.
Did you just put it away? Because you got idiots like me messaging you.
No. It was coming out at 2 Eastern. So it's 2 in Quebec, 3 here. And our whole team was in the conference room. I told them at like 1:50, so I wanted to tell them. I didn't want them to see it on Twitter or whatever, so I told them. They were all super happy. Like, Seattle sent me like a box with the contract in it, with like a hat, with like a toque, with like a nice like glass bottle, just like with a message inside a glass bottle, like, welcome me to the city.
Oh, I get it. Like a
yeah.
I get
the Kraken stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was really cool. So they kind of bring the box in, and everyone's like, "What's that?" And then like I opened it, and they were all like going nuts. And then my phone was pretty crazy. I didn't really expect it to be that big. It was a very, very, I knew like to be the first player in an organization, it was bigger than I thought. So I don't even know how many texts I had. Like, I was answering them for days, and Instagram was crazy. Like, I got like 8,000 followers or something. And
no.
it was crazy. And like, I didn't expect that to happen at all. And, I had interviews to do. I had like podcasts, radio shows. Like, I had a bunch of stuff I needed to do, and it was in the middle of a playoff series. So it was a bit emotionally draining, but, I'm obviously really happy that it happened. And, but like I said, like, if I had signed with any other team, obviously it would have been super cool. And like, I would have, a lot of people would have reached out, but this was like next level just because I was the first player in the organization. There was a lot more that came with it. But it was super exciting, and definitely a day that I'll never forget. And, it was crazy. I didn't expect it to be as big as it was.
Yeah, absolutely. First player in the organization. That's a big deal. It's crazy. Have you ever been to Seattle before?
No, never been to Seattle. My dad's a pilot, so he's traveled a lot. He's been there before. He says it's pretty similar to Vancouver. I've also never been to Vancouver, but kind of like it's a really nice city. Like, a lot of people that I've talked to that have been there love it. A lot of rain. I think it kind of similar to here. Like, there's been a lot of rain here lately. Like, I think it's pretty similar, but I'm hearing there's a lot of rain, but I hear it's a really nice city, so I'm excited to get down there.
Yeah, man, that'll be a great time. Are you going down at all this summer? Like, are you just training here? I know the borders are opening up, I think, for people that are double vaccinated in like 2 weeks or something.
Yeah. So I'll probably go down to Seattle. Like, nothing's concrete yet because they're still building their practice facility and stuff. Yeah. So they got to see how that all goes, and then the expansion draft. So once people start going in, I'll probably go in. I want to guess, like, I don't even have a guess. I'd say like mid-August maybe. Like, NHL camps aren't starting until, like, rookie camps, I think like the 14th of September, I think. Like, I don't think they have any concrete dates yet, so I think it's still a little bit up in the air. But I'm guessing, I'm hoping I'm gonna get to go down, like 3 or 4 weeks before camp, just to kind of get your feet wet a little bit. You don't want to go in, the day before camp and kind of just meet. Like, it's nice to get in there before and see the facility and meet everyone and train and practice with them a little bit. So they've been they kind of want me to go down then. So I'm probably going to do that. I'm really excited about that. So
what an interesting experience you're about to go on. Almost like Vegas a couple years ago, but going into a fresh building, going into brand new equipment managers that are new to the building as well, brand new players, brand new everything. It's gonna be a weird but cool experience, and one that you'll remember for the rest of your life. It's gonna be really interesting. Yeah. And also just building rivalries. Like, obviously Vancouver will be a rivalry, but like just seeing how the season goes and just seeing how things, I guess, fall in line. It's going to be really cool for you and for everyone else within the organization. It's going to be sick.
For sure, yeah. And I'm pretty excited for like the expansion draft. Like, obviously Vegas built a very, very good team, and the rules are the same for Seattle. So
what are the rules again? Do you know?
It's, you can pick one player from each team except for Vegas. So they can't pick from Vegas.
So they can pick Crosby.
Well, no, like players or teams get to protect six forwards, 3D, 1 goalie. So every
say
team,
that again, sorry. Six
forwards, 3D, 1 goalie. So every team will protect 6 forwards, 3D, 1 goalie, and you can't pick players that are on entry level contracts. So for instance, like, you can't pick
can't pick Batherson
yeah,
right now.
Like Ottawa wouldn't need to protect Drake because he's on an entry level contract. So Seattle isn't allowed to pick him. So I like it's I've seen like mock drafts and stuff like that, but no one really knows like what direction they're gonna go in, like if they're gonna do what Vegas did or they're gonna like it's still kind of all up in the air. But basically, they'll get a lot of really good players. Like,
I'm just thinking right now
they can only protect 6 guys, right?
So
and
first two lines,
but some it'll be interesting to see. You know what I mean? Like some people, there's probably some situations where players want out in some teams, so that could be they wouldn't protect them and it's a good player, you know what I mean? Like,
well, it's interesting how Seattle almost has to build an identity. Vegas has an identity. Big, strong, tough, puts the puck in the net, great goaltending, like they have an identity, and they're already 3 years into the league. So Seattle, you got to build an identity quickly.
For sure. And so I think they definitely have the right people in place. Everyone that I've talked to from the organization is so unbelievable, so smart, so intelligent, so ready to work, and they're so excited. So I'm like I said, I'm super pumped to see what the team looks like, and I know they have the 2nd overall pick, so that's going to be a stud player as well. So I think it's looking really, really good for them.
It's interesting, the motivation factor, because you look at Vegas, and the guys who they signed were those guys who didn't really have contracts. They were those 3rd, 4th line guys.
But then you put them in. You put like guys like Carlson, Riley Smith, Marchessault, guys who are 3rd line guys. You put them in on the power play and top minutes, and you look at a guy like William Karlsson scores 40 goals in the first or second year, and he was a guy who didn't necessarily have that much success before, and you put him in a spot to succeed, and he scores 40 goals. So it's going to be, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty similar to what Vegas does. And also like goaltending too. Like, there's a lot of teams that have 2 number 1 goalies. So goaltending, I feel like, is the biggest. Like, they're going to get a really good goalie no matter what. Obviously, they can't pick like Fleury and Leonard, like they but like guys like, you look at Price and Allen, or like Sorokin and Varlamov, like you're getting, they can't protect all those guys. So it's going to be really exciting. I think it's happening on July 20th, so it's coming up soon. So it's going to start soon. I won't be the only guy in the organization.
All right, now are you the only guy in the organization? There's no other side?
No,
that's
only
amazing.
Player.
That's amazing.
Pretty cool.
That's sick. Do you have any plans for the rest of the summer? Or did I already ask you that?
No.
Just training, I'm assuming, here this year?
Skating, golfing. I train with Alexi Pianozzi. He has a great...
Isn't that Nate's trainer too?
Yeah, Nate and Sid train with him. They're kind of like solo. And then I've been working a lot with Matthew Highmore, Logan Shaw, Andrew Gordon, Andrew Schufelt, those kind of guys. So that's what I've been with for the last couple of years. And I think that's really, really helped me as well, just to kind of see, because they're, Highmore obviously played in the NHL, so did Logan Shaw, so did Andrew Gordon. So just to see like the work ethic and the discipline that those guys have really, really helped me kind of, and seeing training with them day in and day out, becoming friends with them, like it really, really helped me to kind of see what the lifestyle of a pro hockey player is, and just how disciplined and how much sacrifices they make. So I think that's really helped me. But besides that, just kind of training every day. I don't have to work this summer like I worked last summer. I worked at the Steak and Stein just as a host.
You worked at Steak and Stein last summer?
Yeah.
And now you're signed with the Seattle Kraken?
Yeah. So, it's the schedule, the schedule is a lot different, as the guys would say. Like, you don't do much, right? Like, I wake up, I work out, I'm able to, I was saying this the other day, like, I'm able to just, like, sit in the gym after and just, like, get a good stretch in, relax, like, talk to the guys, and not have to, like, okay, I got to shower, I got to go to work, then I got to do this, then I got to do that. Like, it's kind of just, it's more, you can just fully focus on nutrition, diet, training, skating.
Sorry, I got to interrupt you. Did you listen to that Sans podcast, Brendan Saunier?
I listened to a little bit of it.
Did you see that clip on
Instagram?
Yeah,
about him going to the bank. Yeah, similar thing.
Yeah.
Like, I was in that position last year. Obviously, I was fortunate enough where Blainville paid for my training, so I didn't have to necessarily. I was only working so I could have some spending money if I wanted to, buy a new driver or go downtown every once in a while type thing. Like, or I have a girlfriend now, so that's well, I've had a girlfriend for 2 years now, so it gets more expensive. But yeah, so I've been golfing a lot more this summer too, which I'm really, really enjoying, and the game's really starting to come around, so I'm excited.
What's your best score this year?
This year is
you break 90 yet?
Oh yeah. I've been playing for I'm a 4 handicap. I've been playing for 10 years, so last year my best score at Heartland Point was 74. I think this year is 77.
Wow.
So I play with like Jack, who you saw is a really
good.
Very good golfer. Brandon Cuvalier. Those guys are both in the amateur this weekend, actually.
No way.
Wouldn't shock me if Brandon Cuvalier does really, really well. I've played with him at Heartland Point the last couple times. He's been like 2 under the last 3 times. Lost his glasses though. That's really gonna kill him, I think.
What?
Yeah, I forgot them in an Uber. So if anyone's driving around Halifax and they see glasses in an Uber, make sure you pick him up, because he's gonna need those this weekend. Because I played with him last night, and he said that he couldn't get hit the center of the club face because he couldn't see. So.
He doesn't wear contacts when he
no,
golfs?
He was wearing glasses. So he couldn't get any in before this weekend. So he's could be in for a tough one. But
that's hilarious. I was golfing with a pro golfer the other day, Brad Current. Shot a 64 at Eagle Crest.
Jeez.
I was amazed.
Yeah.
Like, he made probably the whole time, he probably made 2 bad shots, but after those bad shots, he landed on the green from those bad shots.
Yeah.
Like, he recovered amazingly.
Yeah,
and
that's what they do, man.
You only see
they don't miss.
Oh, no. You only see those shots on TV. Like, he's in the woods, and you're kind of pumped. You're like, oh, he's going to bogey here. Yeah. And like, no. He gets it within like 10 feet of the hole, and you're like, oh, my God.
I find the hardest. So, like, I've been playing for a long time now, and, I started off obviously shooting like 100, and everyone does. Like, you just got to start somewhere. So you start off, you're not very good. Then you can, start breaking 100, and then I find, like, once you start breaking 100, it's easy to get to, if you keep playing, like if you practice and you play a lot, you can get to, high 80s, and then same thing, you can get to low 80s, and then you can get to high 70s. And now I'm in that high 70s range. I've been there for like 2 or 3 years where, if I shoot 77, 78, like, I'm happy, but it's super, super difficult to get to like to the mid 70s. Like, I find this is the hardest jump, like the hardest improvement, like to go from consistently shooting 78 to 82 to now shooting 74 to 78. Like, it happens every once in a while, but consistently, it's just so hard. Like, the golf is so hard sometimes.
I'm at the point now where I'm at I still haven't broke 90. My best score this year was a 91, but that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And I find myself, like, it's honestly messing with me at work. Like, what I did on Monday, I played 36 holes, 218 back to back, just to get it out of my system. So Tuesday, yesterday, I sat in here, I worked my ass off, because if I didn't play those 36 or at least 18, I just wouldn't be working, because I'd be thinking about golf. Like, it's taken over my being.
You got the bug. You got the golf bug. I get it every summer. I just, like, it just draws you back in. And, like, I find literally just playing. Like, if you just play, you're going to, I mean, that's easy to say, but, like, I find golf especially, like, if you just play, just keep playing, play every day, or play, 3 or 4 times a week, you're going to get better really fast.
Oh, yeah.
But, like, hockey, like, it's different. Like you gotta, I find it's like a different sort of mindset.
Hockey?
Well, like improvement wise, like hockey, like you gotta, I don't know. It's tough to explain. Like you gotta, there's certain things that need to happen. Like you need to have, genetics. Like not genetics, but like you need to be playing for a while. Like golf, I find like you can play and you can see results like right away. Hockey, sometimes it's like not everyone can skate, not everyone can shoot. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Well, you need to have
Makes sense in my head.
No, I got you. You need to have. It is hard to explain. You're right.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's like
I don't know.
you need to have like 4 or 5 skills or 4 or 5 pieces of mechanics in order to make one thing work. Like let's say you do want to go pro. Okay, great. 1, you got to be quick.
Yeah.
2, you have to have muscle.
Yeah.
3, you have to have accuracy with your shot. And 4, you have to have a little mustard behind the shot. But to make 4 of those things go together
It's tough.
in sync, it's extremely tough. And some guys only work on, I guess, some things throughout the summer, but don't work on, fundamentals, man, are huge in hockey.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, who's the skating coach out here?
Jill Plandowski.
Like, I'm so happy to see all the guys from around here that are out with her.
So important.
Because
like,
she's a fundamentals queen.
That's like, literally, like, if you can't skate, you can't play in today's game. Like, you need to be a really good skater in order to keep up, because the sort of like, big, strong hitting, that's kind of not fading away, but you don't see that as much. You see these skill guys like that are playing on the fourth line, like guys like Tyler Johnson, who's playing on the fourth line with Tampa. Like, he's a skilled centerman who has a lot of skill and who can score. So you see those, like, and if you can't skate, like, you're not gonna be able to do well at the next level, right?
Toast.
And, yeah. So that Jill is great. Like, I've been skating with Jill for years now, and my skating has really improved, and I owe a lot of that to her. So
is there any I think this is the right word, anxiousness to see if you can skate with those pro guys? I know you said you've been well with some of the NHL guys here, but it's a completely different beast, like playing in the pro game.
Yeah.
Is there any? I was talking to Barron about this. I was like, well, it must have been nice to be up in Colorado, even though he was in the A, just to like play with those guys and prove to himself that he can do it. Is there a little bit of that in you right now? Just you want to get there and see if you can do it?
Definitely. I definitely think so. I like, for me, the biggest thing about me is just, can I, handle the physicality? Can I be strong enough to be able to produce at that level? And that's what I'm really anxious to see. I've been asking guys, like, obviously I played in rookie camps, which are very, very high.
Oh yeah, in Carolina, yeah.
You play in rookie camps, which are a lot of talent, and it's a lot faster than playing in junior. And I think, I did well, but I think there's a lot more physicality playing in the AHL, and I'm really anxious to see how I'm gonna do, like you said. But I'm excited too. I'm excited for the challenge, because when I came into the queue from midget, it was kind of the same story. Like, I wasn't big. I was one of the smaller guys, and the question was, like, can he play well at this level, being the size that he is? And I think I did pretty well. So I'm anxious and curious to see if that'll translate into pro. And I believe that I can. I believe in myself. Obviously, I believe in my game, and I know that if I get bigger and I get stronger and I put on the right weight, like, I don't like saying just putting on weight. Like, you want to be put on the right weight. You know what I mean? Like, you don't just want to put on 10 pounds just to do it. You want to, put on 10 pounds of muscle, but continue to get faster, so that, if I do put on 10 pounds, I'm not out there being slow. You know what I mean? So I'm curious and I'm excited. I'm anxious to see how it's going to go. But, there's obviously going to be ups and downs, highs and lows, and you just got to, do the best you can, compete hard every day, and learn as much as you can.
I was amazed by, like, you talk about weight and speed and even height. Well, how tall are you? You must be 6.
Yeah, 6 feet on the dot. Yeah.
Like, you look at Caulfield.
Yeah.
Like, you're looking at that guy in the tunnel before he goes out on the ice, and he's next to Gallagher, who I thought was small.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. You talk about a shift in the NHL and where things are going.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I think they're going in your direction.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, Caulfield, like, one thing that I noticed watching him is just how much, like, space he creates for himself. That was kind of the question that everyone had. And, like, he's so quick. And obviously he's not the biggest guy, but he just creates so much space for himself and gets himself into good positions. And that's one thing that I noticed with him, and he's been unreal. He's really, really exciting to watch. So
That was one thing we got. I guess lacrosse and hockey are two different things, but we got media passes to go to the Thunderbirds games last year, and we got to watch all the games up from the press box. And I've played lacrosse my whole life, loved the sport, and it was really cool to be able to sit from that angle, almost at a bird's eye view, and be able to see guys and how they were able to create space. Same thing on TV when you're watching hockey, I guess, though. You're able to watch guys and see how they get open in order to get that quick one-timer. Austin Matthews is incredible at it. You're pretty. Obviously, I wasn't able to watch you as much as any other guy on TV because the games weren't on TV.
Yeah.
But creating space in the NHL or just in hockey in general is it seems like we went out with you're with Jordan Burke, that camp.
Yeah.
And he always talked about like creating space and angles and using your skates in order to, I don't know, I guess like confuse a defender. I thought it was really cool because when I played hockey, we didn't learn any of the stuff that you guys were learning. I guess creating space in your head, what's your key to it? Is it an illusion? Maybe get yourself close to a defender and then maybe back off him. What's your thought on it?
You can't be predictable. I think being deceptive, I would say, is a big focus for me. Like I try not to telegraph what I'm going to do. When I have the puck, obviously I want time and space, but like, stopping, starting, going quick, stopping, turning, like, I'm obviously not the biggest guy, so I'm not going to like outstrength necessarily anyone, like just, stiff arm somebody off of me. But like, if I'm able to be slippery and change direction fast and get open for a quick one-timer, I think that's sort of my approach to it, I would say. But I think I worked on that a lot, just being more of a threat to shoot. I was shooting a lot more the last 2 seasons versus when I was 17 and 18 in the queue, and I think that kind of I don't know. I was always a pass first guy, so guys wouldn't necessarily come at me, but now guys this year would come at me and I'd be able to just dish it over, like kind of drawing guys to you and then dishing it, or if you do have that opportunity to shooting it. I think that was big for me.
They talk about Corey Perry being a master at that and how he's been able to almost. It was BX actually that was talking about it on the intermission on one of these games, and how deceiving he is, even if it's a 3-on-2 or a 2-on-1, on making sure that the goalie and the defender just to maybe think, okay, no, he's going to shoot, or actually it's a pass, but it's all about his body language, and I can't even explain it because only he can really explain it, I'm sure. But it was unbelievable how he's able to draw these defenders and goaltenders in to make them think that he's going to shoot, and then just slide it over. And I don't know how old Corey Perry is right now, but he's able to he's been able to carve out a career in the NHL for a lot of years just on certain things of being deceiving. It's kind of cool.
Very effective out there. He is, for sure.
It's interesting how guys get older and maybe they do lose a little bit of speed.
Yeah.
And they're able to make up for it in other ways. I'm excited to see how Crosby is going to be able to handle that in the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah. Well, it should be pretty interesting. I think he's just he works so hard and he's so strong and so good at protecting the puck that I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, no, of course he'll be fine. Yeah. But just one of the most exciting guys to play, but to watch
for sure.
But it'll be cool for sure.
Yeah.
I love it.
Because I remember seeing an interview with him, and he kind of said, like, in his early days when he was in his 20s and when he was younger, he could explode up the middle and just how many times did he split the D and go in and score? And now he said it's a little bit different, so he has to kind of adapt to that. But I remember seeing an interview about that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, because he's the guy who I think he is the best player of all time. I feel you could put a Timbits player on the ice with him, and he'd make that Timbits player look good. You know what I mean?
He's done that so many times. Like, you look at guys, even when they were winning, his line mates who, if they were playing on any other line, probably wouldn't have had the success that they had. Makes players around him better, for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Are you excited to play in front of fans again?
Yeah, I am. To be honest, though, once you get out there, you don't really notice it.
Every guy says that.
I know. Well, it's warm up is a bit different, and when you score is different. But other than that, you're out there, you're in the game, you don't really notice it that much. I feel like I'll probably be somewhat nervous maybe the first time I go back to playing in front of fans because it'll feel weird. Even there's so many things that after COVID that are starting to come back to normal where it just feels weird. Like, I hate to bring it back to golf, but the other, like, where you're just allowed to take the pins out at Heartland Point. And yesterday I played and I took the pin out and it just looks so weird. It feels good because, things are going back to normal, but it just looks weird. So I am excited to play in front of fans. I'm really, really, really excited because it does bring a whole different element. Like it helps the home team so much. And like even playing, like we played 2 games in our home rink this year just because of bubbles and stuff. Like we were playing at other rinks.
Yeah.
And it makes a big difference. So yeah, I'm definitely really excited.
Yeah. Do you find playing at home brings a game, like an element out of you, or do you like playing on the road where it's a hostile environment? Do you find that elevates your game a bit more?
Well, historically, like in my junior career, I played, like, produced better on the road, but I find I always have like good legs and good energy at home. Like you're able to do your routine at home. You're able to nap in your own bed. Like you're able to do your thing. You don't, and and then obviously you're used to your home rink, so you're comfortable in it. Like you love playing there, no matter what team you play for. Like you love playing in your home rink, and then obviously the fans too. So I would say I had more energy. I had more like gas on at home, but I think there's not a big difference for me.
It'll be interesting to see when you go all the, because you've played where? You've played Dartmouth, then in Montreal, or Quebec, and now all the way out to Seattle.
Yeah.
Have they announced their AHL team? Not that you're going to be a possibility.
Probably. Well, for 2022, their team is in Palm Springs, so that's their. But for this year, they're sharing a team with Florida, which is the Charlotte Checkers.
Okay.
So that's probably bearing hopefully, like, I'm gonna.
Dude, you could crack that roster.
Hey, I mean, you never know. You never know. But I'll probably be in Charlotte this year, so I'm pretty excited about that. I think I'm a guy who needs obviously a little bit more time to develop. I'm not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy. I'm working on it, but it's going to be pretty exciting because that's where Carolina's farm team used to be. In Charlotte, and now Carolina's with Chicago and Florida is with Charlotte. So for 2021, that's where their AHL team will be, and then 2022 it moves to Palm Springs. So should be pretty exciting.
The pro game, man. I love talking to pro athletes and talking about the transition from junior to pro and some of the things that come along with it. And they always just boil it down to it's a job now.
Yeah,
it's a job now.
Sure.
Has that set in yet for you?
Not really, no. To be honest, it hasn't. I think I think it probably will start. Everyone I talk to says that like it is a lot different from junior. Like junior is more like there's it's more of I wouldn't say it's a daycare, but like it's like you got to be at your billets at this time. You got to do this. You got to be here at this time. You can't do this. And then in pro, like from what I'm hearing, is just you show up, you got to play. Whatever you do outside the rink, it doesn't really matter as long as when you get to the rink, you perform. It's a performance business, and that's what it was in junior as well. But like it's a little bit different because like you said, you're not trying to like pay your bills.
Yeah.
You're playing junior to enjoy life, and obviously playing pro, you're gonna enjoy life. Like you're playing hockey for a living. Like not many people get to say that they do that. So, but I'm really excited for the jump, and I'm hoping that it'll go well. So
yeah, the kids factor too was interesting when people bring that up about just going to certain teams, and then next thing you know, there's a couple kids in the room, and it's like, oh, that guy's married. Or,
I know.
It's like it sets in a different way of how you have to be a professional and just watch what you're doing and make sure that it all goes smoothly.
Yeah, there's no like hanging out with guys outside the rink. Well, there is like the young guys, but like the old guys, they got to go home to their wife and kids. And junior, like it's more of a you're hanging out with everyone, like, everyone's going to school and then going to practice, and then you can, you're I don't know. It's hard to explain. I haven't experienced it.
Explain it anyways.
I'll come back next year and I'll explain it.
No, man, that's it's gonna be sick. I love it's a part of the podcast that I love whenever we have pro guys on and we talk about it. and we talk about the lifestyle of a pro hockey player and how it's such a fine line of maintaining it, because you're making a lot of money, but at the same time you have to perform and you have to go down this wire. And, most guys want to play pro hockey for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, as long as you can do it.
As long as you can.
And it's a really interesting conversation. And whenever we get a guy in here and he talks about, his 7 years he's been pro, and what how much longer he wants to be in there. And he talks about the little boring details. I find it's so interesting because it translates to everything in life. Like with this company, there's tons of things I don't want to do for this company, but I have to do in order to make it run.
Exactly.
And whenever we talk to a pro hockey player, it's the exact same thing. It's like, you gotta wake up, you have to stretch,
there's sacrifices,
you have to eat this, you have to do that, and it's just little sacrifices you got to make along the line, and it all kind of correlates into the same thing in life. It's cool.
It's like people say, you get to make all this money and you get to just play hockey, and yeah, you do, but there's a lot more that goes into it. There's a lot of sacrifice that you have to make. You don't get to, your years from 18 to 25, like you don't get to go to college, you don't get to do what all your other friends doing, and like that doesn't really bother me. Like I love what I do, and I wouldn't change a thing. Like I don't sit here and say, oh, I wish I was able to go to university and party every day, because like that's not really who I am, and that doesn't really bother me. But yeah, there's a lot of sacrifices that go into trying to make a career in hockey that most people don't see.
Yeah, for sure. Who are you going to be on the ice with this year? Is it Highmore and those guys? For the summer?
Yeah, well, I to be honest, I haven't skated actually yet. They wanted me to stay off the ice until July, just because, for a guy like me who camps it's not junior anymore. Camp doesn't start August 15th. It starts end of September. So you have like that extra, 6 weeks where you can skate. So I'm just going to start getting on the ice now. And yeah, I'll probably be with Jill and those guys, Jill with the pro guys. And then, just kind of Highmore and, Logan Shaw and Drake and those guys probably.
Did they send you the gear, Seattle?
Yeah. Yeah. So
nasty.
I got a couple sticks, helmet, gloves, skates, pants. So
jersey?
No jersey yet. I don't even think they have. Well, they have a jersey, but I don't think like they have them yet.
Yeah.
So I'm sure I'm not really too worried about that.
What color are the helmets and gloves?
The gloves are blue, like really nice blue,
like
and
blue.
Yeah, like dark blue, like navy. I'd say more closer to like the backdrop there, like the high button.
Yeah.
And then the helmet's white. It's just kind of a generic like Bauer like React helmet, and the pants are like a girdle. They're nice. They're kind of similar blue. So they have really nice jerseys actually.
Yo, man, the prototypes they drew up are really nice.
Yeah, really nice. So
really like good color
nice colors,
scheme.
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the Mariners have very similar colors too.
Yeah.
So it'll match the whole city.
Yeah.
No, it'll be sick. I want to come out to. I got to come out to watch some of the guys skate. We got to get a bike on someone.
Yeah.
We got to do something like that.
Yeah. Get one on someone. Those skates are fun. Like guys, we work hard, and we're obviously there to get better. But guys have fun. Like we're all, we all like each other, and guys have fun out there. So
someone was telling me a story the other day. I'm not going to give any names, but they were out with the Sid skate.
Yeah.
And it was someone from Ontario or someone from other part of the country that came in to skate with those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, came into the room after and goes to all the boys. He goes, man, you guys really try hard here. So apparently it's notoriously known that those Sid skates are just brutally tough. And I guess where this guy was from, they're just kind of going through the motions and just having fun. But he walked into the room after. He says, man, you guys really try here.
Yeah, that's why those guys are the best.
Yeah, honestly.
Seriously, man. They work harder than anyone, and that's a fact.
And I've heard stories too about like, you can't like, not that you can't leave early, but like, if you will leave early, it's like, you're not coming back.
Not coming
back.
It's
like you got to stay on the ice. You got to work here.
Yeah. No, dude. They work. They want to win so bad, and they want to get better so bad, and that's obviously, like I just said, that's why they're the best. So 2 of the best 3 in the world.
So fortunate to be here in this part of the world, man. Like all those hockey guys just being right here.
Yeah.
I'll say it till the day this podcast ends. So fortunate for me, even for you, for every single person that's in the hockey community, just having that core here, unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and like even Marchand, like you see how dominant he is. Like I would say he's a top 10 player in the league. Like he's so dominant, and for sure. dominant player, and he just brings it every night. So
Good
it's not a coincidence that they're the best, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they work harder than anyone. So
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was Citadel this morning? We're coming up we're coming up in an hour. How was Citadel this
Citadel
morning?
was good. Citadel was good. It was pretty muggy out there, but we usually go gym Monday, Tuesday, Citadel, Wednesday, gym Thursday, Friday, and then sort of halfway through the summer we'll go off of Citadel and just do speed stuff at the like a turf or something. So Citadel was good. It's hard, like especially when it's hot. It's a lot of forward lean because you're going up the hill, so it works some different muscles, and but it's tough and it's good, and it's very beneficial. So
Who do you sprint against?
we kind of just go like one at a time. We don't
Okay.
really do any like sprints against each other, but just seeing those guys, like I said, like it's really, really good for me to be with those guys and see how hard they work and how disciplined they are, and yeah.
It's an interesting line how it's like you're trying to put on weight, but then you're running up the hill for
Yeah.
speed. It's like you said at the beginning of the podcast. It's like you want to put on weight, but you want to put on weight for the right
For
reasons.
sure.
You know what I
can't
mean?
you can't just put on 10 pounds and then, not work on anything else, and you get to camp and you can barely move out there. Like you're slow. Like you got to work on your speed. You got to work on your fast twitch muscles because, like we talked about earlier, skating and speed is probably the most important part of hockey today. And if you can't keep up and you can't skate and you can't, create time and space for yourself by being fast, then you're not going to have success. So.
100%. What time's your tea time today?
4:20.
No way, I'm at 4. That's what I was saying before. I was like, I got a bunch of work done this morning, but then I got that text from the buddy, hey, tea time
Yeah.
4:06,
You
you
get
in?
excited,
And you're just
man.
like, I guess so. I'm going.
Yeah. No, it's this waking up, working out, skating, eating, and golfing. That's the life. So no complaints from me.
Awesome. Well, hey, Luke, thank you very much for coming here. I
It's
appreciate
been awesome.
this.
Thank you for having me. It's been awesome.
Yeah, man. Enjoy your summer. Once you do get out to those skates, we'll come out and put a mic on someone.
For sure.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Tons
Get
of
one, huh?
content.
Yeah, for sure, man. That'd be great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Luke, thank you very much once again. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me. I had a lot of fun. So.
Awesome. All right, everyone listening, thank you very much for tuning in. We appreciate all of the support. Enjoy your summer. Have fun. Work hard. Stay safe. COVID's almost over, I think. And we're out.
Yep.
Peace.